Hey y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Amber's Apron. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be upfront and honest, I am dying to cook sweet potato casserole and turkey gravy, and I'm dying for the fall food, for like the Thanksgiving food. And it's not even fall yet, and I just keep waiting. Even though I've been buying sweet potatoes, and I've been making them for my family, and we have been loving them, and y'all, I don't know what it is with this year. I just want fall to be here. I'm just so excited. I've already been decorating my house. I already have the front with lights on, and we've got blow-ups outside. It's not even Halloween yet, but whatever. I just can't wait. I love fall. It's starting to get cool outside, and I just can't wait. So anyway, I said all that to say, if you have been messaging me, asking me for Thanksgiving or holiday ideas, it's coming. It's in the works, I swear. I just can't do it yet. It's killing me. It's like beautiful outside. I don't know if you can see. It's like 85 degrees and beautiful, and it's not fall, and it's coming, and it just keeps teasing me with it. And so anyway, I'm with you, and I'm going to do those, I swear. But somebody actually texted me, and they asked me for game day ideas. And typical game day food is like, bar food. You've got the like little jalapeno poppers and, the deep fried goodness and all the finger foods, which is cool. I mean, I love that for game day. But one thing that we've done, and I've actually done this for several parties, and I'm doing it for dinner tonight, is low country bowl, especially here in the South, like especially Georgia. Y'all, we lived in Georgia for almost 8 years. And low country bowl is the jam. Like, we loved low country bowl, and especially if you're having a lot of people over, it's stupid easy to make. It's delicious, and it's one of those you typically dump out on your table and people just graze and eat, and it's so good. So that's what we're having. I'm actually making low country bowl for dinner tonight. And typically I serve it up with some really thick, crusty bread, like the kind you just gnaw on it. It's so garlicky and crusty, and I'm not doing that tonight. We have been doing keto, and we miss our bread. So tonight I'm making the Red Lobster cheddar biscuits because I want those, and they'll be good. They'll be really good. So I've already got my, my Bisquick and my baking powder and all that goodness. I did half the recipe though, so that's why there's not as much. I'm getting ready to add my buttermilk. Now in this one, I'm not adding a half a stick of butter. I'm not adding any butter. Like I do my biscuits, because I'm going to brush them with like this garlic buttery stuff on top. So I'll have enough. I'll have enough butter in there. It doesn't need. Plus I'm making drop biscuits. If you don't know what drop biscuits are, they are basically where you scoop them out like cookies. You don't have to roll them and cut them and all that. And it's just so much easier. And y'all, I don't know if you've seen this. This is a Danish whisk. Isn't this cool? And I don't use it for biscuits all the time. I really use it for cookie dough, because if we're doing chocolate chip cookie dough, or I like to do chocolate chip cookies with M&Ms, it mixes everything in. It doesn't like break the M&M shells or anything like that, and it really mixes it in well. And the reason I'm using that tonight is because I've got me a half a cup of cheddar cheese that I've already been shredding. And y'all, my hands are clean, I swear. You know how I am about that. But I'm just folding in my cheese. You don't want the biscuits, you don't want the dough itself to be super garlicky, because you want them to soak up that butter, garlic, parsley, herby flavor. That's what makes the Red Lobster ones just to die for. And y'all, I don't know if you can see how well that just mixed it all up, but see that? It's called a Danish whisk. And my little mama bought me this for Christmas one year. And as you can see, it just it's not terrible to clean up. I say that as it sticks to my fingers. I didn't think that one through. This is super easy though. You're just taking regular biscuit, and y'all can use any, even they have the I can't remember what brand it is. They have a box mix. It's usually like, I don't want to say it's the Red Lobster brand. It might be though. And it's easy peasy. These are awesome. Gosh, we learned how to make these in home ec back in the day. They don't teach home ec anymore, which is sad. I thought it was coming back. But y'all, home ec was like, we hated it and we loved it at the same time. All right, I'm using this. Okay, let me tell you. Actually, I should show you. Okay, I got this Big Daddy scoop. Let me just stop what I'm doing. And y'all, how you like my new apron? My little aunt got me this apron for my birthday. Okay, let me show you these scoops. Now, y'all, typically you see these, like Pampered Chef has them. You can buy them online, whatever. You see these 3 sizes. This is like the large, medium, and small. And typically people use them for cookies. They make a Mac Daddy one that is like so much bigger. Can y'all see that? So much bigger to this one. And this is the big one. And I use this for cupcakes. It fills up my cupcake batter just perfectly. However big however much you typically fill in the cupcake liners, this does it in one squeeze. And I think I got this thing off Amazon because I order a lot from Amazon. I talk too much. Guys, you just don't know. I don't typically watch these before I post them on YouTube. I know what I say, so and I know where I stop because I have let me show you. I have this little remote control doodad and it turns my camera off and on. I'm literally a one-woman show. I do all this by myself. So I turn it off and on with this, and when I'm making this, like I'll pause, I'll do my little thing, and then I'll use my clicker and I'll turn it off, and I know where I've stopped and started. And normally I just piece it all together when I edit it. I don't watch it. But this last one, y'all, I recorded the whole thing. I recorded everything the whole way through. And so I had to watch it to see like where I turned my back and where I showed you my butt and, to take those places out. And when I watched that, y'all, I was mortified. I was like, I cannot believe I said half the things I said. I talked about hugging people, and it was a train wreck. So I hope you enjoyed it. So far, it's gotten a lot of views. And why wouldn't it? It was a mess. Oh, Lord. Oh, goodness gracious. So anyway, I don't watch them when I edit them, but I had to, and I was ashamed of myself. Oh, goodness gracious. So, I have a little bit of gunk left over. I'm just going to kind of roll it up. This is super sticky, by the way. Like I said, there's no butter in here. I didn't add any extra flour because I wasn't going to be rolling it out. Look at that. So now is where I'm going to stop. And I'm going to go over here and wash my hands. I'm going to get my clicker out. I'm going to turn it off, and then I'll piece it back together. The magic of video. Okay, I'm back. I washed my hands. I'm not sticky anymore. And this is one of my steel pans. It's Pampered Chef. It's heavy duty. It's one of my favorites to bake biscuits on because it makes the bottom kind of golden brown like you do the top. That's the only reason I'm using this, but I'm doing the parchment because these are so sticky and I didn't spray my pan or anything, and when I get them out of the oven, I'm going to pour that melted butter all over the top, and it's just going to soak it in. So I use the parchment, and I'm going to put these in a 425 degree oven for after about 10 minutes. I'm going to check them just to see how they're doing, and then we'll get started on our low country boil. All right, y'all, it's time to make our broth for our low country bowl. I have a pot of water that I have filled maybe about halfway up, and I'm going to use beer. We don't drink beer, so everybody says, like every recipe says, to use beer you would normally drink. I don't really know how this tastes, but I know how it tastes when I cook food in it. There's like 3 things I make with beer, and I use this. What I do is I buy a 12-pack of these and keep them in my fridge, And I use them for my recipes. I'm trying to think what, I know for sure I like to boil brats in them. I like to boil brats in this. And then there's something else that I was thinking I use. Oh, my chili sauce. Y'all, I don't know if y'all have had it everywhere. I don't know if this is a Southern thing or not. But it's like chili sauce for a hot dog that doesn't have beans in it. And basically you take meat and you boil it in beer for like an hour. And then you add chili powder and all these seasonings to it. And it makes like this, like beef gravy, if that makes sense. You put it over a hot dog. And it's so stinking good. And I use this beer. It's Yingling Black and Tan. That's all I ever buy. You know, it's a dark beer. It's like super dark. I don't know if, is it worth me showing you? Can you see it? It's super dark. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the Zatarain's crawfish, shrimp, and crab bowl in a bag. I use this. I really like the flavor that it gives because I don't want to just boil my seafood in water. Like I like to season every little step. So I've got that in there. And then I have the shrimp and crab boil concentrate. This is spicy, so I don't want to add a lot. I think you're supposed to add like 5 tablespoons for like 5 pounds of shrimp. We're not doing this. We're a family of 4. So this recipe is like a quarter of what you would typically do. But I'm just going to add maybe a tablespoon. One time I added too much and we couldn't eat it. It wasn't all the food, it was just the corn. So anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this over to the stove. I'm going to put the lid on it, and I'm going to get it started boiling, and then I'm going to come back, and we're going to start on our potatoes and our corn. And I'll be right back with y'all. Y'all, I just got these out of the oven. Look how big they are. I'm so excited. So what I did off camera, I just melted some butter, and I've got a little bit of chopped parsley. You can't see it. A little bit of chopped parsley, some... what is it? I don't want to say granulated garlic. It's not garlic salt. It's the powdered garlic. You know, the garlic powder. The garlic powder, a little bit of chopped parsley. And then I have this Mrs. Dash garlic and herb seasoning. And I sprinkled a little bit of that in there. And I did use unsalted butter because these are going to be, the seasoning in here is going to be a little salty. Plus the food is going to be so salty. So I'm cutting salt where I can. And I'm using the unsalted. And I'm just brushing these on top while they're hot. And I'm going to let them soak in that, oh, that butter flavor and the garlic. I'm so excited. This is going to be so good. These got done a lot quicker than I planned on. So I'll turn my oven off. And then I'll just put them back in the oven after I get these on there and leave it cracked open. So why is there a fly in here? Oh my goodness, shoe fly. Perks of Tennessee summer. We get all kinds of flies and gnats. Drives me crazy. So that's one thing. I keep my food covered. Because those suckers, they have these little fruit fly traps. I don't know if you've seen them. They look like little red plastic apples. They have some kind of juice inside of them that draws the fruit flies, the gnats. We call them gnats here. And they kind of work and kind of don't. I used to have 2 in my window and I couldn't tell a huge difference, but I don't want to knock it. I'm just not using them now because it's easier to chase them with a fly swatter. And I have a leopard print fly swatter, so I have to use it whenever I get a chance. And y'all, I am not being stingy with this at all. I am socking it to it. I want these to take on that butter flavor and that garlic flavor. There is something about Low Country Boil and garlic that I am here for. I love me some Low Country Boil. Look at that. Oh. And if y'all could smell this, it's very fragrant. It's very garlicky and just, I just want to eat one right now. But y'all, I have almost lost 30 pounds, which is exciting, so I'm not going to go crazy. I went on a bender recently for my birthday. One of the lowest moments is when I ate my birthday cake for breakfast the next day, which I don't mean a slice, I mean the leftover cake. I ate it for breakfast. All of it. So I don't want to, you know, I don't want to go on a bender again. I don't regret it though. You know me, I like my food. Okay, I've pretty well used every bit of that, every drop I could get. And so I'm just gonna get my mittens. I don't know where my mittens are. I'm gonna pop it back in here and leave it cracked. There we go. Yeah, you can't see that. I'll edit that out. All right, so we're gonna get started on our potatoes and corn. Okay, y'all, I've got my potatoes. I went ahead and opened them. I'm using the bite-sized Ruby Sensation. They're triple washed, so I don't have to do it. And I just cut the bag open. And now I'm taking my corn. And y'all, ain't this pretty? They had this in the produce section yesterday. And it just looks so pretty. But now, y'all don't have to use fresh corn in a Low Country Boil. You can use frozen. It works just fine. But when we have fresh corn, I'm gonna have to get me a rag. When we have fresh corn, I love it. The silks on corn though, y'all. Woo! We've heard all kinds of ways that you can get silks off corn, and I haven't seen one that actually works. One year, growing up, my papa had a garden, and that's how I used to make my money in the summer before I was old enough to really work. And we would pick corn, and we'd sit out in the driveway and shuck it. We'd shuck our corn and get the worms off and try to de-silk it, and Lord, y'all, we could never hardly get all the silks out. I don't think that's possible. I know they sell these little brushes now, but they just don't work. Or at least I'm not using it the right way. I can't make it work. And some people, y'all, I've talked about shucking corn, and some people don't know what I'm talking about. It's when you take corn fresh out of the garden, because most people sell it like this. They don't sell it with the shuck on it. And it's usually on a big old, like this thing is the shuck, if I'm saying it right. And it's long, and you have to tear it open, and this has a stalk on it, and you have to peel this back, and usually there's a little worm in it, and you have to get that worm out. Or at least there was, you know, Papa sprayed, but he didn't do any kind of crazy pesticides and all that. He was just a country farmer. And it's so funny, back then we hated it. It was me and my two cousins growing up, and we were about 13, 14. It was so boring sitting outside with all the old people, shucking corn and picking out the worms and setting it aside to sell it. But those were good days. We have good memories we talk about now. And y'all, we used to, because Papa had a garden, so it's not like we just stuck to corn. Like we would pick beans and cucumbers and squash and tomatoes and dig taters. And I have a cousin who's a lot like me, and she and I both sing a lot, like not professionally, but really silly. Like we make up these songs and sing them, and our husbands think we're crazy. And we did that back when we were kids. So we would have like this little song about bean picking. We'd be picking beans because, you know, you'd be out there most of the day and it got boring. So we would sing songs about tater digging and bean picking, and we had dances. Oh, goodness. I did. I grew up a little country. So anywho, if you're in a rush or pinch for time, or actually if you're feeding a lot of people, do the frozen corn. You can get the little mini ears, and they'll go further. But like I said, this corn was just too pretty to pass up. And when I get a chance to eat some homegrown anything, I will. Squash, or even, so y'all, I don't make bell peppers a lot, or I don't do it much. I pretty much use bell peppers only for meatloaf. And my uncle, he grew some this year, and he picked some. I was gonna say caught some. He caught some, and he gave us 5 or 6 bell peppers, which is exciting because they're homegrown. And for meatloaf, y'all, I can cut that up and put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer till I need it. And it'll be so good. Hopefully y'all have an easier way to do this, because I don't. Now in a jiffy, I'm gonna slide you over to my stove, and we're gonna add this and check on our liquid. I don't want to say like water, because it's not, and I don't want to say beer, because then it makes me sound like an alcoholic. It's boiling for sure. I can hear it, and the whole house smells like beer, which means it's going to taste, it's adding a step of flavor. You guys know I like to do that. I like to add flavor where I can. I don't want to just use plain water when I could use something else. And anytime, like, because this has smoked sausage in it, or, you know, whatever kind of like sausage you want. And with broths, that beer, it just makes it so good. So I'm excited. Okay. Y'all sit tight, and I'm going to finagle. We're going to be over there in a jiff. We're back, and this sucker is a boiling. And see, I've got my biscuits in the oven, but I don't want them to go, I don't want them to get burned in there. Even though it's off, it's still a little warm in there. So this thing, I think they call this a spider. I'm not real sure, but I don't want to, it's just 4 of us eating this. So I don't want to dump all of these potatoes in there. Because, like I said, we're doing keto, which this is definitely not keto, and we won't eat a lot of these. So I don't even think we'll do half. The kids may eat more than we will, but seriously. What? Guess that was a bad idea. I just want to be careful dropping anything into here, because it's got a whole bottle of beer. And I'm cooking with gas. And let me tell you, I make these mushrooms with whiskey in them. And you see, oh, you know what? I should turn my fan on. You see my microwave and my stove, like how far apart they are. One night I was making these mushrooms, and y'all, these are my favorite. I don't even like mushrooms, and they are amazing. And you add a 1/4 cup of Jack Daniels to it, and I don't know how I did it. Normally I just pour it on there and it's fine. But one night I tilted the pan or something, and flames went up, and I was like, what do I do? And so I knew the alcohol would cook out. Like, I knew it wasn't going to burn forever. And I just kind of like shook it back and forth. And I mean, I was like, it's going to burn my microwave. It's going to melt the, you know, whatever. So anyway, I've got this going. Now I'm going to swirl you guys back. We're going to work on our shrimp and our crab legs and our smoked sausage. So hang tight. Do you see my eyebrows? I'm excited. Okay, so what I use is the beef smoked sausage. They actually have this like Cajun style, which I was so tempted to buy, but you know, my husband, don't have that Cajun stuff, so kind of boring. But a lot of people use is it kielbasa? I think kielbasa. I have just always used the smoked sausage, so that's what I stick with. I don't get any complaints from the men I live with. Because that teenager, y'all, he's getting a little snobby. He's like, meh, 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 meh. So, I'm just going to chop these. I want these into pretty good little bites. You know, I don't want to do big chunks, but at the same time, you know, you want to have a decent little bite. And now, I typically don't do crab legs with my Low Country bowl. But like I said, that teenager's getting a little snobby. And I thought, well, that'll be a little treat for him. So I didn't even buy a pound. I got 0.35 pounds. I got one cluster just for him. Because we will fill up on the shrimp. I love me some shrimp. Now I'm going to add my smoked sausage to my pot. Then I'm going to add... I'll probably stir that around for a little while, and then I'll add my crab legs. I don't want it to get tough. I don't want it to overcook. And I've got my shrimp for the very last, because it literally takes like 2 minutes. So hang tight. I'm going to go add this, and we will come back. I'm not going to. I'm not going to keep trying it because my luck will wear out. I'm going to cut up some lemons now to add to my low country boil. I think that's pretty typical because, you know, we love our lemons and seafood, y'all. And I only bought 2. Like I said, this is seriously like, we're talking like a pound of shrimp, a cluster of crab legs, a pound of sausage, 4 ears of corn, and like a handful of potatoes. I'm not making this for game day, but you totally should. You totally should. Now, I know you can see me. I'm not squeezing out my lemons. I'm just going to let them boil in here because I want that flavor, but I want it like a very mild flavor of lemon. And then I've got my little cluster here. I think he's going to be excited. We'll see. And I'm using my thing to kind of mash it all down when I come over here and stir it. Now, I don't know if you can see. You can't. Doggone it. When you add stuff, it kind of, like it's a rolling boil, and then you add it and it kind of settles down. And then it gets hotter and hotter, and it'll start like a rolling boil again. And then you add something else and it'll kind of calm down. That's typical if you've never made this. But I'm telling you, low country boils they're amazing. And what we will not do tonight, and I've never done it at any party because I am kind of a neat freak. Like I do not want, you typically eat this outside. You put newspapers or some kind of paper, craft paper down, or like paper picnic tables, whatever, picnic tablecloths on your table, and then if you do it like a decent one, you have like the little insert and you pick the insert out and it drains all the water. Then you take it and you dump it across your table. I'm not doing that. I don't like it. What I do is I put mine in like a big cake pan, and then I put butter all over the top of it. And then we go to the kitchen table and we all like dig out of that pan holding all the liquid because it's still wet. Y'all, if y'all see me looking, I see my husband on the trampoline. Oh, he's got his arms up. He's doing this. We got the boys a trampoline, like the big one, the big, ginormous one. And we finally put it together, and the boys love it. But I'm pretty sure my oldest is downstairs playing the Xbox, and I'm pretty sure the 4-year-old has his daddy on the trampoline, and they're jumping, and it's precious. But it's not something I'm used to seeing when I look out the window ahead. Normally it's just, oh, y'all, let me tell you about my hummingbirds. I keep hummingbird feeders out here on my deck. Like, you know, I have the little hooks that come off and then they hang down. And instead of spending like $5 on the hummingbird food, I buy black cherry Kool-Aid or tropical punch, whatever red Kool-Aid I can find. And I just add more, like extra sugar to it. And I am eat up with hummingbirds every year. They love that Kool-Aid. And it almost makes them mean. Like they fight each other. If like there's a few, and I have 2. I have them on each side of the deck. And they'll kind of like gang up on, like 2 or 3 will be on this one. And then if this other bird flies over here to this feeder, they'll go after him. And they ran into the trampoline net fighting. Them hummingbirds. So I'm used to seeing hummingbirds fighting, not a head or arms bouncing up and down. So that was precious. Anyhoodle, make the low country boil because it's amazing. And what I'm going to do now, I've got everything boiling except the shrimp. I'm just going to give it a few more minutes. I'm going to go over here and stir it. And then I'm going to add my shrimp. I'm excited. I'm so excited. You just don't know. I know I keep saying that. And it's like, say something else, say something different. But I'm so excited. Okay. I've got another lemon. I'm really, excuse me, I'm just going to cut this up for us to squeeze over the top. Because, you know, that's like legit goodness. And I've been watching it. So what I did, I went over there and I used my little spider thing, and I scooped out a potato and I put it on the cutting board. I have a cutting board. You can't see it, darn it. I have a little cutting board over there, and I put it on there, and I just took my wooden spoon and I just kind of pushed down like that into my potato, and it smushed So this is done. All I've got to do now is add my shrimp. But I did want to tell you my little shortcut. So when I bought my shrimp, I got it from the meat department. And I told them to add some Old Bay on my shrimp. Now what I just got the, you know, the kind with the peel still on, where they've gone up the back and they deveined it for me, but the peel's still on. Because I find that the best flavor comes, it's like the liquid and all the flavors get sucked underneath that shell. Then when you peel the shell and eat it, it's all on there. It doesn't just wash away, it's like sucked up in there. But I do have them add Old Bay into my bag, and y'all can see, I mean, he just covered it. He covered the shrimp up real good. Y'all see that? There's Old Bay all in that shrimp. I can't wait. So I'm gonna go over here and add it, and I'm gonna be very careful because it's a bubbling. And I don't know, can y'all even see me? You probably can. So I'm just gonna add it gently. All I'm doing now is waiting for the shrimp to cook, and we're done. And y'all know my biscuits are done. But y'all, I gotta tell you, my little boy, little 4-year-old, he will not eat this. So he is gonna have some fried shrimp in the air fryer. I cheat with him. All he wants to eat right now is corn dogs. We keep telling him, you're gonna turn into a corn dog. So he's gonna eat fried shrimp tonight in the air fryer. And I have him some corn that I cut off the cob, and I cooked it in a little bit of butter. So he can have some shrimp and corn, and I'm hoping I can trick him into eating some of these potatoes out of here. We'll see. Okay, y'all, I've added my shrimp. Woo! I need my rag. I keep a dish towel that I just, look at that, I just wipe my dirty old hands on it. And then when I'm done cooking, I take it to the dirty clothes hamper, or the dirty towel hamper. All right, I'm just gonna give that a stir. I'm gonna let it boil, and then y'all, when this is done, I'm gonna scoot you over to me. Actually, I may not. I may move the bucket over there, the pot over there, and I'll show you how I plate it and how I add me some butter on top. And then we'll get these biscuits out. Oh, it's gonna be so good, y'all. It's done. Okay, so I was checking, like I was kind of stirring it, and my shrimp, because y'all, that's the only thing that had to be cooked. The potatoes were done when I checked it, which means everything else is done. My shrimp, I don't want to touch this, y'all. Look how perfectly cooked. I mean, that's like super pink and curled up. My shrimp was done. So it's time to get this plated up. And this is how I do it. Y'all are more than welcome to do it the normal way, the right way. And like I said, people just dump it out on their table and everybody grazes and eats it. Oh, I'm so excited. The smells in here are just amazing. And I kind of try to organize it, and I kind of don't. Look at this steam. Look at these puppies. Oh yeah. You know what? I probably should have broken those up before. That was bad planning on my part, because I don't want it to be like one big cluster. And I don't know, I think it was the Old Bay. I had a coughing fit as soon as I put them shrimp in there. I was like, I got choked on something. So it had to be the Old Bay. There we go. That way, if he decides to share, they're already broken up. Oh, that little one's coming in. There we go. Get out my other corn here. Now, I'm just going to take that little spider or whatever it's called.
Thank you, Mommy.
And y'all look at this.
Thank you, Mommy.
Do you hear that little wild boy of mine? Amen. Good job, Cash.
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome, honey. What are you thanking me for? Oh, for the animal crackers. Well, baby, you're welcome. He wanted a snack earlier. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this seafood? I'm so excited. So when I look at the camera, I am behind a cloud of smoke. Steam. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's like looking through fog. It's that hot. And y'all, this is, why do I keep wanting to touch it with my fingers? That's the dumbest thing. Here's that bag of seasoning. That crab bag of Zatarain's crab bowl. See, it stays in the bag. So you don't have a big old mess. And look, here's my tater I checked earlier. It's broken in two. Look at all this seafood though. Oh, y'all, I can't wait. I am so excited. This is like my favorite thing in the world. Y'all, would you look at that? I got caught on that bag. Good gracious. Here's what I'll do. I'm not left-handed, but I'm just going to set that there. That makes even more sense, right? Blondes have more fun, but boy, do we pay for it. I'm feeling it like I'm about to sneeze. Holy cow. Something in here is, woo! Something in here's got me going. And I just want to get everything out. Normally, I mean, like, you are totally fine to dump it down the sink because, like I said, that's the seasoning packet. All the seasonings, you're not going to be losing anything if you strain it. All gone. Okay. I'm going to put this and these onions, good golly, lemons. And that's one thing you won't see in here is onions. Normally, you cut up an onion and put in here, which is delicious, but these men of mine do not like the onions, so I don't add the onions. Because then I just have a bunch of leftover onions that I've wasted. Finishing butter! I found this garlic with Parmesan and basil savory finishing butter. I found this at the grocery store. Typically, I make my own. And I thought, I'm going to give this a whirl. Just try it. This is so hot. Everything is just, it's going to melt on everything. And I did leave it out for a little while before. And I'm just going to use my fingers because they're clean. And I'm going to put this butter on absolutely everything. I only bought this butter for my low country bowl. So if I use every bit of it, that is a-okay with me. Y'all, I got a hold of something. It's got to be that Old Bay. Woo! And I'm just going to let this melt all over everything. And then I'll mix it all up before we eat. And it will literally be on everything. And I don't even care. I don't even care. I'm not mad about it. I'm here for it. Absolutely. 100%. I love me some butter. But savory finishing butter? Holy cow. Doesn't that sound amazing? And I've got this. Oh, y'all. I'm gonna come get the camera and zoom in on this so y'all can see. It's got chunks of basil in here. I can smell the Parmesan. I am excited. I think I did good with this here butter. Because you know, you got to have butter with seafood and corn and low country bowl. You have to. That butter is just going to get on everything. Yes. Amen and amen. When I cook a lot. And when I make something that's just delicious, I'll post a picture on Facebook and I'll say, you know, this is what this is. Amen and amen. Because that means you are in agreement. Amen and amen. Look at this, y'all. There's that fly. Oh! When the camera was off, I chased it around this kitchen with a fly swatter, and I thought I got it. I hate flies. All right, so I'm just going to stand here and let this melt down, and then I'm going to come still the camera and give you a close-up of what all this looks like. And then we're going to plate it up, and my family and I are going to eat it, and it's going to be delicious. All right, y'all, I added all that butter to it, and I covered it up with some aluminum foil, and I want y'all to see this. Do you see those big chunks? That's got to be basil, maybe a little bit of parsley. And it's on everything. Look at that. It's on everything. Look at this. This one shrimp. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, I'm so excited. So y'all, I'm not even going to eat this in front of you. Look at this. Holy cow, look how perfect it is. So I am gonna go put this at our kitchen table and we're all gonna sit down. We're just gonna grab what we want and eat with our fingers. And then we've got them old garlic cheese biscuits. Y'all, I'm excited. I'm so excited. Look at that. Look at my food, y'all. I've got my biscuits, I've got my low country bowl, I've got lemons, I've got paper plates so I don't have to wash dishes, and we are gonna dig in. So seriously, if you've not tried low country bowl, make it, taste it, tell me what you think. This is a perfect game day meal. It's also a perfect anytime dinner. My husband agrees immensely. So try it.
Hello, Mommy.
Hi, baby.
Hello.
Hello.
It's always full.
Yes. So seriously, try it. Let me know if you do, and let me know if you make this for game day, because it's really, really awesome. So have a happy day.